Hey everyone. Hey, how are you? Welcome to another impromptu Crept Live. Um, I do these on occasion. I should really start planning them so I can bring, other people on and let folks know what I'm doing. Um, in general, obviously, these impromptus, you never know if anyone shows up to talk to me. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I do these from time to time just to sort of let people know what's going on, if they're interested at all. Um, some of the news that is happening in my life, or just shooting the shit about certain things that's exciting me as far as media is concerned, pop culture, whatever. Um, so yeah, that's what this impromptu live thing is. If folks do end up showing up and you want to chat, please ask me questions. I will totally chat with you. Um, anything geeky, anything about the '80s, anything about toys, movies, horror. You know, um, my movies, music, whatever you want to yap about, you can talk to me about. So it is June, middle of June, 2024. Um, we are a little over a month away from production on more episodes of Wellsville Nights, um, which is my parody of 1980s and early 90s teen soap opera shows, TV shows, um, with some horror elements thrown in, supernatural elements underlining supernatural stuff that happens throughout the show. So right now it's like, it's thick pre-production, and um, pre-production sort of started in February. Um, and I got to tell you, since then, it has not been smooth. This pre-production has definitely not been smooth. And I've been making comedy horror films for 33 years. It's very rare that things go smooth. Um, the pilot episode when we shot in 2022 went really smooth. Um, Almost everything, pre-production, production, post-production, it went uh, like eerily smooth. Um, Last year when we shot my newest feature, for the most part, that went relatively smooth. Um, Few things here and there that kind of got hairy. Um, and so far, this pre-production has has been rough and tumble for sure. Um, hasn't been the most smooth. It's not the most fun, and for the most part, like I did with the last few projects. It's really just me doing all of it. Um, I am the main producer of these things. I write and direct and produce these things, and outside of a little help from our buddy Zach, um, it has been all on me, which is fine. But the stress is getting to me, um, because so many things are going wrong. Um, so it's been a lot of sleepless nights, or waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to go back to sleep because of the stress, because of the issues that keep popping up in my head, and how I'm going to fix certain things. I mean, you know, truth be told, this does not have any uh, existing production company behind it. I'm not making this for a company. We had to raise money, and we didn't raise a lot. People, it seems, weren't really interested in this project. Um, from an outside point of view, I'm so thankful and appreciative to the people who did donate. Um, but we're essentially trying to squeeze 3 episodes into a 5-day shoot. That 5 days was originally 10 days, and then people just kept pushing back and saying, "Oh, I can I only do this many days?" It's like the majority of the cast, uh, who picked the dates in the first place, um, shrunk the days that they're giving me to shoot this stuff, uh, and so it hasn't been great on that end. Um, we've had issues with the schools. We've had issues with cast members. Somebody even, one of our cast members, Desiree, one of the gang, she had to bow out, and so that new auditions began. We had to put a whole thing out for that. That's been about a month of doing new auditions. Um, just lots of stuff. Today, I found out something that is just like, come on. So I'm dealing with that. And everyone is coming in on July 30th for a August 1st shoot date. Um, I mean, money has been spent. So the train is rolling. I can tell it's going to be one of those productions where things don't quite get ironed out until like the few days before we even start shooting. Um, the way things are going. Um, and the stress might be somewhat unwarranted, because in actuality, it's, again, I'm saying that it's all on me, and it's all on, like, I'm not making this for anybody. We're making it for Warlock Home Video, and we're going to be putting it out on Tubi, so it's not like I have to sweat somebody breathing down my neck saying this is when we have to do this, and you know, that's on the line. But people did donate, and I want to make sure we give them a fun show. Um, you know, 99% of LBP Warlock are not actors, so they're giving their time to me to do this. Um, the actors, the actual actors that we have hired, they're giving their time to do this. So luckily everyone believes in the project, which is good. Um, the last two projects, the majority of all these people worked on with me, so they know what's up. Some of these people have been with me for 25 years; they know what's up. Um, so I'm putting, I guess, a lot of stress on myself. I should think about that and sort of counter that with coming back down to reality and saying to myself, "Hey, man, don't sweat this. This is all good. Let's have fun. We'll just make the best of it." Which I need to, you know, in a way, I'm glad that we're not making this for any other company. So I am going to be putting out a video on the GoFundMe page. You can no longer donate. But I wish we still were getting donations in. You can still get the pilot Blu-ray from me though. That is, let's see, here. Um, I am selling these, the pilot Wellsville Nights. Um, the only a limited amount were made to help donate to help make money for the budget of the show, and these are 25 shipped in the U.S. Has the pilot and some extras on there. Um, Ultimately, what we plan to do is release the pilot along with the three new episodes that we're shooting coming up. They will be released on Tubi for free, and then there will be um, a Blu-ray set that has the first four episodes, which is the first half of the first season of Wellsville Nights. That'll be on the first. That we'll have a collection on Blu-ray for that later in the year, um, for people who want to own them with special features and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so that's another way that we can continue to raise money for the show. Is people want to get that Blu-ray set from me? I mean that Blu-ray. Bruce Norris, I stumbled upon your movies one day watching Tubi. Keep up the bad work. Thanks. And that's very few of the films. Um, I've made 60 plus movies for over 33 years. That's just some of them that's different companies own that are out there. Um, but yeah, we know what we make. We're making cheesy, bad trash, comedy, horror, fun stupidity. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on with Wellsville Nights. Like I said, I am going to be making a video to throw up on the GoFundMe page of Wellsville Nights, letting everyone know sort of what is happening, going in a little more detail on all the ups and downs that are unfolding with this pre-production. Um, and it's been a lot of waiting on other people that and that info from these other people. Things are taking so long, or why there's a holdup, and you know the budget is like going so fast because things that we didn't have to pay for, I'm now suddenly having to pay for, which really blows. Um, so yeah, it's been something. It's been a time for sure. Um, then there's the we did shoot a new feature last year for J.R. Bookwalter and Make Flicks, and that's still sort of like up in the air. I have no idea what's happening with that. Um, you know, he's doing some of the post production on my new film, and um, I edited the movie last September. We shot it in the summer. It's going to be a year in July that we shot this thing. Um, and then last September, I edited the main picture, and did a few sound bits. But Jr. is going to be responsible for the sound mix and the color grading and all of that, and he is he it was also right in the middle of him finally making his new film after 23 years and taking it on the road in this road show, and that's what he's been doing since January. um, been focusing on his new film, um, which is awesome. I've seen it and it's great. But that's the holdup on my new feature is once he, I guess, is ready to sit down and do that sound work and color grading on my film, then he'll tell us when we're allowed to talk about it, tell people what the hell it is, uh, and start promoting it, and also taking it around and having it show in small theaters and doing a little theater run with it. I'll go anywhere to show this thing. I just want people to see it. You know, Chicken Wizard. I'm one of the people that bought the pilot. It's awesome, man. Clint Kelly's character cracked me up. Thank you, Chicken Wizard. I appreciate that. Hopefully, we'll deliver. You know, some some funny new episodes. See what happens. Um, and then, in addition to the new feature we did, that is a Make Flicks exclusive, they're also re-releasing my Death o' Lantern films, Death o' Lantern 1, 2, and Death o' Lantern the remake. Um, Make Flicks is putting out a brand new Blu-ray set of those flicks. Um, and he's also had those since last year. Um, that's not going to take as much work for them because the films are already done. I mean, they've been done. We did record some newer special features for them, that were done last year. Um, and I would assume Makeflix plans to release that, for fall, for the Halloween season. I would hope. Um, And then we've got 4 new features that would be ready to rock for 2025 into 2026. After this first half of Wellsville Nights, the first half of the first season, it's only 8 episodes of the first season, um, but we want to at least try to get these 4 out there, and then gain awareness for the show on Tubi, maybe gain an audience so that we can launch another crowdfunding to make the other 4 episodes. So we have a full season one. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in 2026. We'll see. But I mean, I do have these features planned for 2025. We got Radikill and Curse of Frank Wolfula, and I was a young adult sex mutant from outer space, and then Deathskate 88. Um, and there was real talk about us going into Radikill in October of this year, but I don't think I can do it. um, with how tough this pre-production has been for these next few episodes of Wellsville Nights, however that shooting is going to go, and then the post on those 3 episodes I'll be doing, you know, through August, September for sure. Getting those done. And then hopefully getting out there and promoting my new feature and the Death o' Lantern discs and stuff like that. I'll want to hit some conventions and do some screenings and whatnot. So I don't think my mind can take launching into another feature this year. Long gone are those days where I was making 6 movies a year. That doesn't happen that hasn't happened in a long time, and I can't imagine. I look back at that time when I was doing 6 a year, and I'm flummoxed. I can't believe that we did that. Just knowing, what it's like to do it now. Maybe that's because I'm 47 and my bones and body feel like I'm 85. Uh, I can't. That's bizarre to me. Chicken Wizard, I would like to get involved with Radical when the time comes, if possible. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay, Chicken Wizard. um, but when we were shooting my new feature last year, I remember, and again, I mean, I would shoot. We shot these. You can What I'm about to tell you, you can say, oh well, this is how you were able to shoot 6 movies a year. It's because my features we would only shoot for 2 to 3 days, if that. Um, but the pre-production was longer, uh, and it was still, you know, it's still a lot to think about. You're busting 6 movies a year. Um, in the feature we did last year, we had it was our longest production shoot ever, which was 5 days last year, and I thought that was going to be a luxury, and it wasn't. Um, it was pretty hard, and I remember sitting down with Clint, who's one of my one of the members, LBP Warlock. He's our DP in most of the things, and he's in a lot of the movies. But he was shooting the movie last year with us, and I remember sitting down and looking at him I'm looking at Meredith, who has been with us for 24 years, 20, 23 years, something like that, 23 years. And I was just like, how the, how did we do this? How did we do this? How did we make so many movies in a year when this one movie was such a struggle for us? You know, it was interesting. And so I think trying to go into Radikill this year after these Wellsville Nights episodes was wishful thinking. I think my excitement got the better of me. Um, but I am ready to get back to making the features, you know, fully come back into the Warlock Home Video and what I set up for Warlock Home Video and do that. That excites me to get back to that. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if we drop one of them for next year, and we just maybe even two of them, and we just focus on two films next year. I don't know. I guess we'll see how everything goes by the end of this year and see what we can pull off for next. Um, yeah, it might be like a we do two next year and two in 2026, depending on if we're able to go back into the Wellsville Nights world. But I do fully plan to just let Wellsville Nights marinate those first four episodes on Tubi and see how they do and see if an audience grows for it. Um, it might thud. Who knows? And these might be the only four episodes that exist of Wellsville Nights. Who knows? We'll see. Um, but I wanted to give it a shot. Doing a TV show was something new for me. Always done features or shorts. Um, Wellsville Nights had been marinating for years and years and years, and seemed like the right time to pull the trigger and do something different in 2022. Um, I don't know. But I also understand that it's a very niche thing. Not everyone is going to be into the idea of watching a parody of 80s and 90s teen soap operas with supernatural twist, with a bunch of 30 and 40 somethings playing 15-year-olds, um, with my humor but played straight. It's a big ask. But then again, like most of the stuff that I've done throughout the years, primarily it's stuff that I want to see, and I don't care about the outside audience. That's secondary to me. Um, Nobody else is making the kind of buffoonery that I like to make or that I want to see. Um, so I make Chris Seaver movies, and they aren't necessarily for other people. I'm happy for the people who do enjoy them. It's awesome that after all these years, there's still, you know, a loyal fan group, a fan base for the stuff that I do. Um, so that definitely helps. That helps propel the dumb shit. Um, but first and foremost, I'm making stuff that I want to see and that I find funny. Um, Chicken Wizard, the pilot looks beautiful. You and Clint have definitely stepped it up for the Knights. That wasn't Clint. Clint didn't shoot Wellsville Nights. That was Zach Oliveris, who is the director of the documentary that was made about me, Zero Budget Heroes, The Legend of Chris Seaver and Low Budget Pictures. Um, I wanted the conceit of the show was I wanted it to be as accurate as possible to those shows from the late 80s and early 90s. And so we tracked down, uh, 90s broadcast cameras, so it was all to tape and it was shot like a lot of those shows were shot on tape with harsh lighting, studio lighting, um, and then adding that beautiful post soap opera haze to the picture, which was beautiful, which worked beautifully. And of course, I mean, it's 4:3. It wasn't widescreen. It was all 4:3. That it was shot to accommodate our TVs back then. And so that's what we wanted Wellsville Nights to be, and we definitely accomplished it. I was very happy with how it looked, and you know, I did some testing. I did do some testing with Clint with different cameras, but I was really holding fast for the broadcast stuff to make it look as accurate as possible. Chad, what's up, Chad? My buddy, Chad, Ecto, Chad Too Rad. Um, are there any VHS still on your must-have list, or is it all 4K Blu-ray now? Chad, I don't really collect VHS, and I haven't probably in 12 years. Um, Certainly not to watch. I am definitely a convert. I watch 4K and Blu-ray. If a movie is available on 4K and they did a proper restoration to these films that I love to make it look as accurate and close to 35 millimeter as possible as what it looked like when I was growing up in the 80s and seeing it for the first time in theaters, I'm gonna pick that every single time. Um, there are some VHS that I still have in my life, mostly due to the fact that they are my original VHS that I had growing up in the 80s, or early 90s, whatever it was, um, that I felt like I needed to keep that were important to me. Um, there's very few VHS that I have, um, because there is no DVD or Blu-ray or 4K release of the movie. So I'm gonna keep that VHS because it might be the only way I'm ever gonna see that flick. So I do have a couple of those. Um, but I understand why people like, unless it's what I just said, unless the movie is not out on any other format, um, that's how I have to watch that movie. So I'll pop in the VHS. But I don't watch VHS. I mean you're primarily doing it for nostalgic purposes, which is fine. But I don't want to watch Back to the Future on VHS. Um, I have a 4K of that. I'm gonna watch Back to the Future on the 4K. Uh, you know, Same with anything like that. But my copy of Meatballs 3 and Invisible Kid on VHS. I'll pop in the VHS and watch it that way because there is no other physical media. Um, I don't know if there's necessarily anything that I'm 100% looking for. Um, And again, it would be for just nostalgic purposes. I'm not one of those VHS people who are collecting just to collect, just to have a collection. And to, I mean, it's dead media that I just don't have any care for outside of the ones that were truly meant something to me. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like seeing it. I like being around it. Um, More power to the people who, you know, devote their life to VHS. More power to you. Um, I'm certainly friends with people like that. So, we all got our things, man. We all collect what we love. And who am I to say, ugh, what are you doing? You know, when I collect my childhood, when I collect so much 80s shit, recollect it to have it back in my life, you know? Um, so, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. Uh, Chad, the documentary was fantastic and really shows the world not just what a great director and creative person you are, but more importantly, one of the best friends anyone would be lucky to have. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that you actually watched it. Um, you know, Outside of just hanging out with you, Chad, I don't know if you really knew the world of the filmmaking Chris Seaver. So it was um, that documentary, which you can watch on Tubi for free, by the way, from director Zach Oliveris. Zero Budget Heroes: The Legend of Chris Seaver and Low Budget Pictures is free on Tubi. Um, that documentary really gives you a full insight of me and the people who I consider my extended family and make these movies with me. So I'm glad you watched it and appreciated it. Chicken Wizard, I'm really digging those SOV vigilantes. Love seeing Ross and Falcon. I also enjoy when it's just you, Clint, and Andrew. Yeah, I love doing them too, and now it's a case of getting those guys together. Everybody has a busy life. Um, we have we definitely have people that we're ready to bring on. Um, we were ready to do a show last week. Shit came up, couldn't do it. So it's always a matter of just when everything aligns, and we'll come back and do it. Um, but we all three of us have some great people that we want to bring on and talk SOV and just shitty horror with everybody. But yeah, it's fun. I'm glad that people are enjoying that series on the channel. I want more people to embrace the magic and wonder of shot on video horror. Price of Adam, new fan here, went crazy for the last 3 or 4 BL. Um, 4 months buying the DVDs. Oh, Price of Adam. Okay. Well, what do you have, Adam? I would love to hear what you have because you know, and what you've seen. I have recommendations. I don't like a lot of my movies, but I can tell you the ones that I do love and where to get them. Bruce, when is Teen Ape going to space? Never. The Teen Ape thing, the Teen Ape Bonejack, that whole world ended in 2007. So that chapter is gone. There will never be more Teen Ape, but I'm glad that people dug it, and I'm glad that people are discovering it for the first time. The recent Crapster piece with Meredith was great as well. Thank you. Yes, she's always great. I recorded one with Nicole just recently for another talk about Terror at Bloodfart Lake. I just got to edit that one, but I wanted to get a different video up before. I didn't want two back-to-back Crapster pieces. Price of Adam already bought it. I don't know what you're talking about. Snowy, hey Zach, love the channel. Keep up the awesome work. Hey Zach. My name's Chris. Price of Adam. I gagged during one part of Weirdsies. Goo on fingers. That was I don't know. Cool. I don't gag much. Okay. Well, hey, man, you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle the the cream, the sensual fire. Um, oh, back to the VHS thing. I also, I also I consider that stuff part of um, the '80s room that I have, and sort of recollecting that type of thing. But again, when I did, 12 years ago, I ended up selling a whole bunch of the VHS that I had. I got to tell you, when in 1999 is when I first got a DVD player and started getting the DVDs, and I I trashed all the VHS that I had up to that point, other than the ones that I kept from my childhood. I just I remember my girlfriend at the time, in her basement, she had like three like big garbage bins, and I tossed all my VHS into there, and that was a lot. That was a lot, but I was like, DVD is the wave of the future, you know. And I kind of did that too when Blu-ray and 4K took over. I'm not Blu-ray. I'm still getting Blu-rays and obviously the 4K that I find worthy. I'm not replacing every Blu-ray that I have with 4K. It's got to be worthy of the upgrade. Um, so I'm strictly Blu-ray and 4K. I have not bought like an actual DVD in fucking years. I mean, since Blu-ray took over, really. Um, I have no connection, no love at all for DVD. Um, the only DVDs that I get prominently, I guess, would be if an '80s show is on DVD. They're not gonna port a lot of that stuff onto Blu-ray, so the only way you can get them is DVD, and so I'll go that way, which is fine. It's how the quality is good for those shows, and so I'll get '80s DVDs and stuff like that. As far as TV shows, but no movies or anything like that. If it's on Blu-ray, I'm gonna get that Blu-ray. Chad hopes for He-Man San Diego Comic Con figures. Any predictions or guesses? I don't. I don't have any hopes. I just take it as it comes. I think I'm done with the origins. I know they stopped doing um, brick and mortar for the origins line, and the origins line is going to go strictly on Mattel, but not the cartoon collection. The cartoon collection is going to continue in in stores. Um, but as far as the origins line, they've already sort of started and gone past all the shit that I just didn't care about growing up. Um, they're recreations of a lot of the characters and lines that I didn't care about back in the '80s, and I don't care about now. So there's a bunch of origins that I just didn't even bother getting. Um, but the cartoon collection I'm really loving. I really love, and I love the origins that I have. I just think as far as characters from their recreation of the original Mattel line, I think I'm done. I've got the ones that I wanted. Um, so I'm happy with that line, you know? The last main Origins figure that I got was King Randor. Back then, back in the '80s, I didn't get Randor. I didn't give a shit. Um, but since then, I've really grown to like the Randor character. Um, and so I wanted the Origins Randor. But the cartoon collection, yeah. And I'm not getting every one of that cartoon collection. I didn't get the Skeletor's vehicle that was just released in the cartoon collection. I didn't get it. I don't care about that. I want, I'm bummed that they're not recreating the Fright Zone. I do have the Snake Mountain, the origin Snake Mountain, but I really wanted them to redo Fright Zone, and I hope they still do. Um, I guess maybe it would be well. I know for the cartoon collection, I really want the Horde. The Horde, as you know, Chad, is my favorite villain in the world of Masters of the Universe. Shira, that whole thing, the Horde just does it for me. And so anything Horde, I want. So give me the cartoon collection Horde. I have it in the Origins. I have my original. I have the Super 7 Filmation ones like that they did do, which I think was only Hordak. Um, but yeah, I want bring me Horde. Bring me the Horde. At this point, whatever. It's a surprise. You know. Um, I tell you what, I absolutely hated. I think they are ugly as fuck. I hate this amalgamation of turtles and Masters of the Universe. I just it's like, oh, these are just ugly figures, and it does nothing for me. I want nothing to do with them. And I see they're doing it with Stranger Things and Masters of the Universe. It's like what what do you do? Like that's not for me. That stuff is I have zero interest in any of that stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't care about I don't care about that stuff. But you know, yeah, Chad. Again, I also love the turtle line. 1988 when the turtle line hit. I was 11 years old. I was prime time turtle time. Um, so yeah, I love the turtles. I don't want Masters of the Universe and turtles squashed together. That's just not for me. I think the moment I saw the pictures of them, I was just like, wow, these are ugly toys. These are just ugly, ugly toys. Chicken Wizard. The wrestlers were fun at first, the mixing the masters and the wrestlers line. And I did get a few of those. And ultimately I ended up selling them. Because in the end I was just like, it doesn't do anything for me nostalgia wise. I don't get that nostalgia hit. I would rather just have a Roddy Piper instead of a Roddy Piper mixed with, Thunder Punch He-Man or whatever it is. Like, um, So, yeah, I stopped that pretty quick in that when they did those, you know, the WWF line there. I mean, I thought their Mr. T was really fun. Um, mixing, Mr. T with uh what's his name? Ugh, you know what I'm talking about. But I thought that stuff was fun. Jitsu. Mi- but yeah, Brothers of Adam. Yeah, yeah. Again, I mean, I recollected a lot of the little shits that I got from McDonald's and Burger King in the '80s. Um, yeah, the little vinyl toys or the McNugget buddies or any of that stuff. Um, Obviously, as time went on, I was a teenager into my 20s in the '90s. I didn't care about that stuff anymore, but I was still collecting toys. Um, I just at that point, come the age of 13, um, once 1990 hit, I stopped taking toys out of packages and just started putting them on my wall. It was a lot of displaying. It's when a big part of the collecting began, and I just covered my walls with toy packages and setting up displays and shit like that. Um, the actual playing with the toys stopped at 13, but make no mistake, I was still collecting toys and still am at 47. So still here doing it. Yeah, I love it. I don't know why I need a proton pack. I just do. I feel I collect with the intention of display, but it's all a bunch of boxes and shelves in the end. Um, I don't. I don't do boxes nowadays too much. I try not to keep anything in the package. It just depends on what it is. I'm definitely now a open that shit up and display it person. Um, we got the Star Wars and sci-fi fantasy room here, um, and then upstairs is the '80s room with a collection of my original stuff growing up, my recollections. Um, you know, then there's like reproductions of the old stuff, things like that. Anything that's like '80s, early '90s, that's up in the '80s room. My wife has her video game room that's upstairs, and then down in the theater room, which is the horror room, and then it's all that stuff. And it's this isn't. I don't get anything to sell. I'm not a. I don't buy stuff and then resell it. I don't care about the value money wise. Everything that I have is because I love it, and I don't collect willy nilly. I don't collect whole lines of things. It's usually just things that I had, or I pinpoint things that I absolutely love, and just maybe I didn't get back in the day, but I wanted, so I seek it out. Um, it keeps spaced down. It keeps collection. I don't collect to collect. It's the same with my movies. Like people have like fucking thousands upon thousands of movies, but you know damn well they haven't watched those movies. Um, they're just there to show off a collection and collect dust. They're not watching that shit. Um, I collect what I want and what I love. Like that's it. Like I don't blind buy anything. I'll either rent it on streaming, you know, if I want to see it, and then I'll make the decision if I want to own it on physical. Um, but I keep my movie collection concise that way. Um, there's no wasted space. The room does look good, by the way. Thank you. I like those food fighters. Yeah, man, the food fighters from 1988. I had those. Growing up, I had to recollect them. Bruce, how did you end up at Yorktown Lanes in Parma Heights, Ohio? Yeah, we shot Carnage for the Destroyer in 2005. And at that time, we were good friends with. Um, I mean, they still own it. My buddy Jeremy owns Yorktown. Well, his father, his family owns Yorktown Lanes. Um, and Jeremy was part of our effects group. He and his effects team and part of the Legion of Terror down there. Um, Jeremy offered up the Legion of Terror, the um, haunted house that's down there in Ohio, and the bowling alley for sets for anytime we wanted to shoot. So I basically wrote the movie around what he was offering. Um, and so that's how we just drove down to Ohio, and I had met them because we'd always sell at Cinema Wasteland down there since 2000, um, and struck up a friendship with Jeremy and some of that Legion of Terror group down there. And that's how in 2005 we shot Carnage for the Destroyer. Uh, I think I was in ninth grade when I saw the Filthy McNasty as in Fangoria. It took 20 years, but I got there. It actually was one poster and title I never forgot. Oh, I sorry, Carnage, good stuff. That's funny. Yeah, we shot. Yeah, Filthy McNasty one is we shot in 2001. Um, Filthy McNasty 2, we shot in 2002. Filthy McNasty 3, we shot in 2004. Um, which you can watch the making of making a Crapster piece on the channel now with me and Meredith. We talk about making because it's the 20th anniversary of Malva 2 and Filthy McNasty 3. And then we shot Filthy McNasty 4 in 2010. Um, Chicken Wizard Carnage is one of my favorites. It's awesome. Thank you. I like the Sebastian character, and when Travis played Zeebs in Bloodfart Lake, yeah, yeah, those were fun characters. That's a crazy workload, and I barely like making coffee. I mean, we were shooting 6 movies a year back in the day. I'm glad we don't do that now. No one should be doing that. You know? I mean, how many have you seen? Adam, Price of Adam. 20, just all from, like, streaming and make flicks, or did you have you bought titles from me? I don't know, because you can get a lot from me that, are not sold. Like, I would say maybe 38 of my flicks are sold out in the world through different companies, and then the rest I sell myself, and then some just will never see the light of day. Chicken Wizard, Bloody Bobby. Actually, there's a real good chance that the next that LBP Classics Volume 8 might have the original Bloody Bobby on it. There's a real good chance. So stay tuned to that. Um, I I the films that I offer fans are the Anal Paprika trilogy, um, which is LBP Volume 1. Then Volume 2 is Blood Trim and Bloody Giblets. Volume 3 is The Karaoke Kid and Scrotal Vengeance. Volume 4 is Meter Man and Meter Man 2. Volume 5 is House on Bonejack Hill and Ghoulish Chronicles from Bonejack High. Number 6 is the Heather and Pugly quadrilogy. So it's all four Heather and Pugly films. Number 7 is the Blue Cheese Brothers and 'Twas the Funk Before Christmas. And then I've got Evil Night, the 2014 remake of the 1992 Todd Cook film Evil Night. So it's my version. um, the Death o' Lantern films, the Dingleberries, um, um, Happy Holidays, Stoinky Beach, the Stoinky Saga Blu-ray, which has all the Stoinky films on it. Um, what else do I offer? Yeah, I offer a bunch, all on remastered Blu-ray, double features, triple features, some of them, quadrilogy, bunch of them. I know MakeFlix, they offer the movies that I made for them in that awesome Blu-ray box set that they put together that has thir- they have 14 of my films in the blue. They have a Blu-ray set of 13 of my films, and then um, the Weirdsies is separate. It's got its own Blu-ray. That's on makeflix.com. But the other stuff, that's all through me. There is no site. I don't have a company, like there is no I'm not a business. So it's just getting a hold of me if you want these things, right? You know, uh, Wellsville Nights pilot, which we're trying to, continue to raise money for the budget to shoot the three more episodes this summer. Got that. Volume 4, Meter Man 2. Um, also have handy. Uh, oh, I got handy. Oh, yeah, Evil Knight. Um, LBP Classics Volume 2, Blood Trim, and Bloody Giblets. See me. Um, Warlock Classics, Happy Holidays, and the Dingleberries. All good stuff, man. Just amazing. Top quality. You wouldn't even believe it. So intense. Bro. No, there's no eBay, man. You just go to me. You just you just send me an email, and I can send you the titles that I sell with a number, and then you just send a PayPal. That's it. You know, my my email is warlockhomevideo@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at warlockhomevideo. My channel here. I've got two sites on Facebook: Warlock Home Video Network and just Christopher J. Seaver. Um, but you know, all of the info about anything and everything that's happening new is usually on Instagram. Um, and it gets posted to the Facebook pages, I guess. Yeah, warlockhomevideo@gmail.com. Chicken Wizard, do you think any more of your Friday the 13th fan films will come out? I thought there might be more. Not not their own releases. I don't know what you have. You know, maybe you have um, Stevage's fan film Frights, which is a few of the fan films. But on the releases of all the LBP Vintage Collection Blu-rays, there's always footage of late '80s and '90s Chris Seaver tomfoolery. So throughout a lot of those extras, there are other Friday the 13th filmings that we did, raw footage, things like that. Again, there is volume 8. of LVP Classics is going to have a lot of cool stuff on it, including the original Jason versus Freddy short that we did in 1994, and something we did called Devil's Night Out, which is all raw footage where we had like Pinhead, Jason, Michael, Freddy all in like one movie, and we did like a whole bunch of stuff on that. And there's raw footage of that, and that's going to be on that set as well, along with Bloody Bobby, and a few other bit bips and bobs, um, which I'll be announcing later in the year. Probably be a holiday release for that. Um, but you know, reconnecting with Todd Cook, he has a lot of that footage from back in the day, um, from when they released my stuff on VHS, my early stuff in the early '90s, and so he kept everything. So he's been able to get me a lot of that stuff, um, which I've wanted for years. I don't even own my own VHS masters of a lot of those early '90s movies. I just don't have them anymore, which is sacrilege. That's because like there's a fan in particular that paid a very large chunk of money to have those in his possession, and that fan is no longer a fan. I guess he doesn't respond to anything. I asked if I could like get copies of that footage so that I could make a new Blu-ray, and he just did not respond. So luckily, Todd Cook still has a lot of that stuff. So that's pretty exciting. Hold on, I gotta. These cats are. All right. Yeah, Todd's awesome. It's his birthday. It's his birthday today. Todd Cook's birthday. We have a lot of cool people planned for um, future SOV vigilante episodes. Um, some people I'm very excited to talk about, to talk to, and I know we will get Jr. Bookwalter on as well. Talk about his beginnings and then his connection with us, and how he views the world of SOV now. But we have some cool people behind some very cool projects that are ready to rock and roll. It's just a matter of getting us all together to sit down and record. So, but we'll see. And the next making a Crapster piece is already we shot it. Um, it's with Nicole. It's another one about the making of Terror at Bloodfart Lake. I just didn't want to put it up back to back with the last Crapster piece, so there'll be another video that goes up before the next Crapster piece. Um, I was thinking of doing a series of um, video commentary as well. I'll just put up a video of myself watching one of the movies and doing a commentary, and then you can watch it while you're watching one of the Chris movies. Some of the commentaries we did were recorded years ago for those original releases. And then there's a bunch of movies that I've done that never had a commentary. So I've been toying around with that idea as well. Could be good. Could be interesting. Could be boring. Who knows? But I'd do it. See what happens. Hmm. Yeah. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. I'm Chicken Wizard. I highly recommend buying stuff direct from Cevic. He always ships super fast. Thank you. I try. I try. A lot of these I have to make. I hand make. I, you know, I burn them myself, and I put together all that stuff, and then I ship out as fast as I can. I personally don't like waiting a long time for things, so I try to do it. Within the week of somebody ordering, I try to get the stuff out as fast as possible. You Price of Adam. That's cool. I heard through the searching you weren't doing more. Glad to see ya and make a live. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I didn't. So in 2015, we shot the Weirdsies. 2016, we shot Death o' Lantern the remake, and then after that, I took a long break. We did a short in 2019 called um, "A Stoinkmare on Halloween Street," which is part of the Stoinky Saga Blu-ray that has Stoinky Beach, A Stoinkmare Before Christmas, and Stoinkmare on Halloween Street. Um, and then took another break. The pandemic happened. Um, that's when the the sort of full-on pre-production of Wellsville Nights began during the pandemic. We put together the entire four-season arc of the show, wrote the first season of the show, and then I came back to shooting in 2022, shot the pilot of Wellsville Nights, fully intended to go full bore into more episodes in 2023. Um, Make Flicks and JR happened again, which was a blessing, and shot my new feature last summer for them. And then now we're going full bore into three more episodes of Wellsville Nights, and then more features for 2025. So, Wellsville Nights was really like another big fire lit under my ass to it's time to get back out there and make stupid shit. you know, the break was nice. I needed it. Like I said, I started Low Budget Pictures when I was 14 years old. That was 1991, and really before that, when I was 7 in '84, we got that video camera, and I was just making backyard buffoonery in my adolescence. It's all I've done. So I felt I had earned a break, you know, after Death of Lantern the remake, and it was nice. But I gotta tell you, it was fucking awesome to come back with Wellsville Nights, shoot that pilot, and feel the fun and the burn again to to jump right back into it. Um, so hell yeah. And then in the interim, of course, in 2019 is when Zach Oliveris got a hold of me and you know wanted to make that documentary about me and my crew. Um, so that was happening as well. And he spent 3 years of his life making that documentary, and then touring it and doing all the festivals and winning all those awards, which was awesome. And now you can watch that documentary on Tubi and Amazon Prime, I believe. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, yeah. He ended that doc. The doc was done in 2021. That's when we stopped shooting. Oh wait, no, no. Yes, yes. That's when we stopped shooting. He did the festival 2022, and then that's when I asked him to shoot the pilot for Wellsville Nights. We shot Wellsville Nights that summer. Yeah, and then last year, that's when the doc was quote unquote officially released. Um, yes, you can watch it on streaming, but he didn't. He hasn't gotten like an actual distributor for the physical media, which I wish he would. Um, right now, you can get physical copies through Zach Oliveris, but um, that's not reaching a wider audience. So I hope that at some point he does get national distribution for the doc outside of streaming. I hope there's a physical release that he gets it out there more. So, any more questions? If not, I'll split, but I'm happy to answer more questions if people want to keep yapping. Um, and if not, then I'll split and you know taste the golden spray. Uh, thanks, Price of Adam. Chicken Wizard. Thanks for everything you do to entertain the people. Master Secret. Well, thank you for being entertained. It's an acquired taste, so it's always nice that people outside of me and my friends find this stupid shit funny and entertaining. You know, it's always the best when your audience knows exactly what you're doing. You know, uh, we're not trying to sugarcoat anything that we put out there. So very much appreciate that people have the same sense of humor for the dumb fuckery that we do. Yeah, Todd. Todd's a great dude. We've known each other for 30 years, and he's still as enthusiastic as he, 30 years ago. It's interesting that like through all that time, we still have never met in person. It's always been, back in the day, it was letters and then video letters, and then when the internet happened, then emails, and then we would phone each other, um, but never fully met in person. And we are so very similar in a lot of ways. Um, and I think if we, had lived, if we lived next to each other or lived closer, we'd be thick as thieves. We'd be best of friends. You know, we'd be hanging out all the time. He's a good dude, and I appreciate everything that he's done for me and for SOV in general. Like all those guys, like the people I grew up admiring and being inspired by. J.R. Bookwalter and Todd Sheets, Todd Cook, the Polonia brothers, you know, all the SOV pioneers. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I'm going to split. Thank you guys for talking. Thank you, folks, for watching who did not jump on. These impromptu live shows can always be iffy. You never know. But I appreciate the people who did stick around and talk to me. Thank you. And first and foremost, I mean, it's a nice information dump, so you guys know what's happening. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at my Instagram at Warlock Home Video. Um, Here on the channel, my email, which is warlockhomevideo@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Christopher J. Seaver, or Warlock Home Video Network. Yeah, I always shoot the shit, whatever. I'll pop on Messenger and yap about anything. You want to pick up some titles, you want to help donate to Wellsville Knights, let me know. Um, but thanks everyone for watching. I hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you next time. Huh? Bye. Bye.